You're probably assuming I went with the planned title, a bit confused by this popping up again. Obviously, as you can see, compared to the last time I did this, I am recording it on the PS3 after, what was it, 2 years of the world ending and system difficulties. I've finally gotten a setup that will record my PlayStation without it, killing itself or the copyright protection kicking in and, about 1,000 other things. I'm on a different computer. I'm recording in a different space. I have a lot of cords everywhere. And this will actually be in HD at not 60 frames a second, but the highest output of whatever Armored Core 4 plays at. I think it's like 32 or something weird. I'm mostly doing this to prove a point. Despite my performance in the last time I did this not being particularly skillful, that's partially to do with the fact that it was really the first time I'd played Armored Core and, had to record at the same time, so not exactly my best work. I was playing it on the 360, and part of the argument I had for the 360 version is that the PlayStation versions of Armored Core are completely unpatched, and the Xbox versions are. And part of my argument is that the Xbox versions are much more difficult because of that, because there's been a lot of gameplay balancing and AI patching, whereas the PS3 versions are easier. I feel like my own experience with the games and watching other people play them has shown that, yeah, the Xbox versions are the completed, finished versions, whereas the PS3 versions, at least today, are the unfinished ones if you're playing in the Western Hemisphere. Because I believe the Japanese versions can still get updates, but the Japanese version and the English version, even for the PS3, are two different copies of the game. So, I do have a Japanese copy of 4 over here, and if you load it up, I believe it will still download the patch notes and the recent regulations, whereas the American version will not. I'm hoping this is going to come out at a higher resolution than when I was recording on the Xbox. That's part of the whole reason I was going to switch over to this. I'm actually, part of my plan here is, I'm going to try and edit these a little bit more, so there's less of downtime of me just sitting here staring at a screen or thumbing through menus. I mean, how much of the fucking last time I did this was just me staring at my mech in the thing, deciding whether or not to use, like, an assault rifle or a submachine gun on one mission? I'm also part of the reason why I did so poorly last... Yeah, exactly. You can't download the regulations in the PS3 version of this game. Part of the reason I'm not going to... or I'm going to be doing this here is that the last time I played this, I exclusively, I think for most of the game, used my mech Snowblind, which is a good one-on-one mech for, it's a good... I don't want to say jack of all trades, but it's a well-rounded middleweight mech. It kind of sucks on a lot of these missions, though, despite how much I like it. Because it's the classic, machine gun, sword, cannon, etc. I'm going to be specializing a little bit more and making more varied mechs. I'm probably going to use Gamora, which is the one I used on PS3 a lot, which is the one with the shotgun. I'd love to say this is a higher resolution, but there's so much film grain on this cutscene by default, it's hard to tell. Hopefully that's not picking up on my microphone. I've been having a lot of issues recently with, I have no idea why this didn't happen when I was recording it before, but when I was recording back on my desk, the TV was literally less than a foot away from my microphone, and it didn't pick up any audio whatsoever. Now that I'm recording on my bigger television, so I can actually sit in a normal chair and not have my back kill itself, it picks up so much audio from the television, and I'm wondering if that's to do with the recording space, or like what? Because my old setup, my television didn't have anything behind it, but my television over here has a wall behind it, so I'm wondering if it's bouncing back the audio into my microphone, but I don't feel like that should be that big of a, like, if it wasn't picking up audio from less than a foot away, why would it pick up audio from, like, several meters away, if, just because there's a wall there? I don't know. It feels, like, I'm gonna have to turn down the decibel count on audio, because wow, it's like max. Anyway, it's weird, like setting the decibel to default means that the audio is almost always at max. I don't know why that is. It feels very bizarre. Yeah, it barely is. I still think this is one of the best cutscenes that any of the Armored Core games have had. It's super short. It doesn't have as much detail in terms of, like, the scene changing and, like, showing off the different aspects of the game, but it just feels so good. I will be doing a new game, of course. I'm gonna have to take a minute to warm up with the PlayStation controller, but hopefully everything is... I wonder if it will remember my control scheme. Boost, overboost, quick boost. Nope. Auto boost you keep on because you'll die on water levels if you don't. I don't remember what auto sighting does. I think it's aim assist. It's either aim assist or it's auto detailed mode. That detailed mode was really cool. I wish it would come back. It's not actually very useful. It just looks cool. Because all it does is it locks you onto a target. It doesn't exist in the other modes. You just target whatever's directly in front of you, which is a little irritating. I don't know why, but my brain's really stuck on World End. This blue lighting reminds me a lot of it. I've been watching a lot of anime recently. What with, you know, the world ending. But yeah, I think it's because Crunchyroll finally works on Xbox without it crashing every 40 seconds. It's still not very stable. I have to, like, open and close it, like, 3 times before I can get a video to load a lot of the time. But, I think, there's a lot of good stuff on there. Weirdly enough, they have some holes in their, library. There's a lot of stuff I would have expected to be on there that isn't, but they also have some pretty obscure stuff that I'm interested in, and shows I've been trying to watch for a while that I haven't either been able to get or I just haven't had the time to look up individually. And I appreciate being able to check out some shows for free, or relatively for free. I think it's like $14 a month, but that's nothing. Before having to, like, because there's a bunch of shows where it's like, I'm gonna just purchase it, and it's like, well, I could, you know, purchase it. Or, oh right, it wants me to cite. I got distracted, what with my, I'm talking about anime and it's making me worse. How meta. But yeah, no, there's a bunch of shows where it's like, well, I could purchase this, or I could... Wow, that's a lot slower. But yeah, or I could just check it out first on Crunchyroll. However, Crunchyroll has the English versions for essentially none of its shows. I think the only ones I've seen is like ReZero for some reason has the English version of it, as well as a few other ones. I think it's because isn't ReZero an international production rather than just a Japanese production? So they have like a bunch of people helping out. Like they've got like a Polish and a German and like a Portuguese version as well. I don't know if that's accurate, but I think that's the case. Because there were like a bunch of them. Which is a shame. I actually like the English versions of some shows, like Zombieland Saga. I want to watch the second season of it because I like the voice actors and I want to watch it in English. But it's not available in English anywhere, and Funimation's website is still garbage. That hasn't changed at all. So I'm not watching it there. I would purchase a fucking disc copy of it, but I don't think there is an English version yet. That's disappointing. God, playing with this regulation is really bad.
It was the death of a legend and a mass pilfering of technology. The man she saved was an unrivaled raven paired with a next craft, used by research and development.
I find it interesting that like this style of cutscene just never comes back in any of the games. I want an Armored Core game that just straight up has anime cutscenes like it's Blaze Blue. Just fucking throw like 15 minutes from an anime in the middle of it and just call it a day.
I used that man.
Armored Core should have an anime. We should crowdfund it. Weren't those guys working on like a CG like short animation? It was like Limit Break or Line Breakers or something. I forget. I remember seeing a really nice CG render of a pilot. It looks kind of like a Battlestar Galactica pilot, which is weird. Since we've seen what Ravens look like outside of their fucking mechs before, in Last Raven and several of the other games. I mean, it's not frequent, but it does happen. There's also been several books, and there is a little official artwork of them outside of their things. Yay, let's go to Australia. I like Australia.
Eliminate the armed groups occupying Griffin, the independent city. Griffin was abandoned after losing its central infrastructure to large-scale.
For some reason, my brain... I remember back when I was playing Silent Line in...
This mission is a little show.
I want to say... I played Silent Line when it first came out. It was the first Armored Core game I played. But later, after having played Armored Core 4, I played Silent Line and Armored Core 2 again, because we lost our copy of Armored Core 2 at some point, and we bought a new copy of it. And I remember playing in like 2007, I was playing Armored Core 2 or Armored Core Silent Line, and my memories of that game, for some reason, Griffin, or not Griffin, yeah, whatever his voice is, his voice actor has been superimposed over all of my memories of the mission briefings, and I have no idea why. It's weird. But I have memories of fucking playing Armored Core 4, the Versus mode with my brother, and I have memories of playing the campaign of Silent Line, and also Armored Core 2, because I distinctly remember the, oh right, it's the reverse in this version. I distinctly remember the, going through the tunnels where you're supposed to, like, cause, damage to alert the, city security or whatever, and stepping on cars and stuff, but I remember all the mission briefings, that little pop-up, fucking topographical map of the area being in fucking Griffin's voice, which is weird because he's not in those games, like not even the voice actor. So I have no idea why my brain has decided that's what those games sound like. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Also, the default regulation for Armored Core 4 is really fucking slow. In case you hadn't noticed. It's slow, you have very little energy. Like, they put a lot of extra time into making sure this game played better than it launched, because Armored Core 4 at launch was not a balanced or particularly well thought out game. The same goes for a lot of Armored Core, but definitely 4. There's a reason why it didn't sell very well, and it's because it was weirdly fucking paced, and there wasn't a lot of it. Armored Core 4 is the shortest one in the series. It only has, what, 32 missions, and then they change on hard mode?
The Pax Economica, totalitarian rule by the companies beginning after the National Dismantlement War. Their aim was a tempered redistribution of the planet's limited resources.
Yay, World War
These
III.
wise fiscal masters took hold of resources and markets alike, driving people into the colonies.
The spirit of Motherwell.
Lives of harsh labor
Theoretically.
just to eat. After missing the boat in the development,
I love how big the spirit of Motherwell is for, like, the 30 seconds it takes to blow it up. You fight that train in Armored Core 5. It's a lot bigger because the mechs in Armored Core 5 are a lot fucking smaller. I actually love that little detail on the trains, like the fact you can see the, like, handrails and the things. Just being able to see, like, a normal door informs you as to how big it is. Armored Core has always had a problem with scale. It's the worst in the original games because you have no idea how big anything is compared to, like, a normal person. Because the closest you get is there are cars in Armored Core, like 1, 2, 3, etc. But the size of the cars is actually fucked up because the cars, like, assuming that your mech is the size that is said to be in the game, like, it doesn't really work because the cars are either too big or too small, depending on what level you're on. And it implies that you're either changing out mechs for, like, one that's a little bigger or one that's a little smaller. Because I remember in Armored Core, I think it was either 1 or Master of the Arena or something, I was standing next to a car and I was like, okay, and then I walk like 15 feet and I stand next to a light pole and I'm like, alright, how big is that car then? You know? Because we have a fairly average size for light poles, at least in, you know, the United States at the moment, but... And I've been to a few other places, and light poles are usually around the same size, but... So are cars, for the most part, especially, like, what appear to be, like, 1980s style sedans. I'm wondering how I want to do this. I was going to do it, like, play a mission on normal, play it on hard, play a mission on normal, play it on hard, but I don't think that's gonna be a good idea for me right now. I think I'll just do it the way I did it last time and save the hard missions for a separate. These are going to require some serious editing. But at least I've decided that I'm going to fucking save the extensive emblem creation for an editor that actually allows me to do such. I mean, fuck, Armored Core Verdict Day, I'll sit there for 4 hours and make an emblem, you know, just whatever. I did do that, actually. I was slightly irritated because I specifically did it on the PS3 version so I could share it with someone I know, and I did do that, but then it's like they never ended up playing Armored Core again after like a handful of times, so... I spent a long time recreating, or my own version anyway, of the Raven's Nest emblem in Verdict Day. It's harder than you'd think. You've got to make it out of triangles. In the original games, you could just draw it, which was its own form of difficult, but assuming you could, you know, draw it, you didn't have anything to worry about.
Your objective is the enemy's main ground force. Drop down quickly.
Yeah, that's a little better.
You'll be entering the fixed laser cannon's range shortly. Tread carefully.
I just found it interesting how the audio came well after the shots were fired.
Target destruction confirmed. 3 remaining. Target destruction confirmed. That leaves 2.
I need to get an energy sword at some point.
Target destruction confirmed.
There we go.
neutralized. The mission was a success.
I appreciate the 30 minutes of me fucking around in the Emblem Creator to about a minute of actual gameplay. It's a good ratio, you know. It's how you know you've got a solid play session going on.
I'm glad you're all right. Let's go home. Let's confirm the mission. Eliminate the unidentified faction that is.
I do appreciate actually fucking getting to see where these locations are.
Enemy forces are presumably few in number.
As far as I can tell, Armored Core 5 mostly takes place in Australia, but eh.
Enemy radar response in the deepest level.
Alright,
confirmed.
let's go.
That's your target. Head down there now.
That is something to be concerned about, is the PS3 version is not exactly as robust as the Xbox version is. So it's a little bit more laggy, even if the resolution is better, which is unfortunate,
Good work.
to say the least. Because I actually quite like the PS3 version. It's a shame it doesn't play very well.
I'm glad you're all right. Let's go home.
Yeah, Armored Core 4 has too many loading screens. They're not as bad as 4 Answers, though. Because in 4 Answer, the loading screens are really, really freaking long.
Let's confirm the mission. The Maghreb Liberation Front is White Africa's largest anti-establishment group. You'll attack their fortress in former Gelta, take out the entire squad of guards. The old Gelta
Those are big turrets.
fortress is a
You'd think they
holdover
would take a
from
long
Wars
time to
ethnic
aim.
cleansing. It's a
Apparently
natural
not.
stronghold, protected by the canyon's walls.
That war both sounds
This one's
horrific, but it has a
defensive
real
forces should
and
withstand.
fucking
But remember that the old large
intellectually
barrel fixed
fascinating,
cannons
but
set
it
along the
has
canyon's
like
most impressive power
I
and
don't know.
range.
It's a cool name for
Those
like
are your
what is
orders.
obviously a horrible event, but there's a lot of, I don't want to say lore, but narrative I feel like could be explored in just the events that go like into the background of each Armored Core game. It's like, I want to walk around in the Armored Core universe and just see what's up. I think there's a book about that. It's like called The Tower or something. It's about some Human Plus people. I remember because one of them's like trying to get surgery to undo their Human Plus modifications because it'll lead to their death if they don't. I don't remember what happens to them. I think they die anyway.
Next cannon firing range shortly. Keep an eye out for cannon fire.
Ah, it's so slow. Base Armored Core 4 is so slow. I'm gonna have to turn off auto sighting. That,
The former Gelta fortress is ahead.
yeah, that's a little irritating.
Defensive force of normals is in place. Take them all out. Three enemy normals left. Slow more now.
Ah. Oh no, lag. This is what I get for not picking a class with a energy sword. Probably would have been over in like 30 seconds if I had
Good
one.
work.
I like how they just keep shooting you afterwards. In the original game, as soon as you finish the objective, the game is over. In this one, they'll just keep pummeling you until it fades to black. It almost makes me think they were going to include like an exfiltration mode, where you had to exit the battlefield after the fight. In the original games, it was context specific, in that sometimes you would be forced to fight your way out of a mission when the story called for it, but most of the time it would just be over whenever you finished whatever your objective was. It usually depended on how hard the mission they wanted it to be was.
Let's confirm the mission.
They'd usually have it be so that in the missions where you fight your way out of it, there's an AC that intercepts you during your exfil. It's very common. Silent Line has a bunch of those.
You'll stand by on the peninsula and
I wouldn't want to be on any submarine that's carrying a bunch of supposedly named self-destruct weapons.
Those are your orders.
I feel like that's just asking for trouble. This thing I'm in looks like the pod from Armored Core 2 if you were like inside of it. I'm assuming anyway, just based on it being a big curved thing with a door on one end. How do those spaceships work anyway? Because you see the pods attached to the outside of it, but
We've confirmed the
I
self-destruct
don't know.
device's approach.
It's bizarre.
They're right on schedule for instructions. Prepare to intercept.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, despite you using a fully automatic weapon, you don't actually have to fucking hold down the,
Take a deep breath and move out.
yeah. I should chill. You can really just stand here, it doesn't matter.
This is the EOC Base Patrol Squad. We'll intercept the
Oh my god, that lag is terrible. It's like the one drawback for playing on PS3, other than the patch notes thing, is the PS3 is really not great at handling Armored Core.
Fire in the number 2 storehouse.
Wait, did I let one by already?
Put it out, pronto. Damage report.
The enemy has reached the launch site. Damage to the facility has been confirmed. You can't let these things pass.
I guess I did. Weird. I don't remember letting one pass. Wait, did I let one by already? Wait, did I let one by already? Weird. Huh. Bizarre. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Ugh.
Enemy submarine fleet is withdrawn.
Could be going a little better, admittedly. Yeah, come on, hit it. There we go. Yeah, see, that still works. It's just not as effective as hitting them individually. Theoretically, I should be able to fire each gun in a different direction, but Yeah, this is one of those earlier. I remember playing this in the demo and having a hard time with it, and I think that's because there weren't any automatic weapons in the demo, or at least if you hadn't already picked the Solux or
No response detected from enemy self-destruct units.
fucking Aaliyah
There's
unit.
barely a scratch on the launch site.
Yeah, I don't get what
The
was
mission
up
was
with
a
that,
success.
like them taking a hit earlier.
Good
I
work.
guess I missed one? I didn't think I had missed one. That was really early. Maybe I accidentally shot in the direction of the site? I don't know. Weird. I did it.
I'm glad you're all right. Let's go home. Let's confirm the mission. GA's Hazen facility has been occupied by an armed terrorist group. The enemy is relying mostly on old weaponry, but it's possible they've activated normals made on site at the factory there. You have clearance to eliminate any normals that oppose you. Your task is to clear the enemy out of that facility. Those are your orders. The mission objective is complete elimination of terrorists.
Feels almost like busy work. I do like this map a lot, even though it's not really explored in great detail. It's just the idea of, like, it's a normal factory.
We're still picking up enemy signatures in the neighboring chamber. Clean that one out next.
Come on, die. Thank you.
Radar activity within the facility has gone silent.
Anyway.
The mission was a success.
So you look at the little fucking forklifts and pallets. It's
Please
like a
head back.
dollhouse.
I'm glad you're all right. Let's go home. Let's confirm the mission. An unidentified armed group has reoccupied Griffin, the independent city. GA is planning a large-scale airship attack to rout them once and for all. It's your job to take out their long-range weaponry to clear the way. Griffin is swarming with enemy forces. You can ignore them all. Just get to those long-range cannons. We're looking for efficiency here. Those are your orders.
Even though I'm retreading old ground, it does feel good to get back into playing Armored Core again. I haven't really been playing it a lot recently. I did a run through Armored Core 4 like a few months ago just for fun, but
Ignore their ground troops. Focus on the long-range cannons. Closing
wow,
distance
that
on the
was
enemy's main force
sudden.
now. Radar response from central area long-range cannons has stopped dead. That's not all of them. Destruction of western area long-range cannons confirmed. Take out the remaining objectives. Destruction of all objectives.
That could have gone a lot better. Took too many hits.
The mission was a success.
Good thing you don't take damage after the mission's over.
Please head back.
That could have been a lot better. I shouldn't have gotten an S rank. I lost like half my health. Whatever. It happens.
Let's confirm the mission. This time, it's the Maglib Liberation Front's Eritrean stronghold. Eliminate their entire ballistic missile arsenal. This is one of the MLF's central bases. You'll be facing an elite force, including several normals. We've detected a fierce sandstorm in the area, so visibility will be extremely limited. Focus on tracking targets.
Couldn't I go
by
off
radar.
thermals?
Those are your orders.
Reminds me of a teacher I had.
The ballistic missiles you're after are in the Eritrean stronghold. Head for the stronghold.
I need to turn
Radar
off
to
auto
verify
sighting.
your location. Enemy forces are coming in bigger now. Stay sharp or you'll be in trouble. Eritrean stronghold perimeter breached. Now get in there and destroy the objectives.
Come on, blow up already. Fuck.
Destruction of ballistics confirmed.
You'd think blowing up a nuclear missile would be, you know, bad.
Please head back.
Whatever. In real life, if you shot a fucking nuclear missile, or at least the head part of it with a handgun, nothing would really happen because the actual like activation trigger inside a nuclear warhead is very, very small. So you could kind of just shoot at it for like, you know, a while and it wouldn't blow up. You might get lucky, or unlucky I suppose, and hit the small amount of TNT that's in there that propels the fissile, or the thing of the fissile material, but all in all, like, you could hide behind a nuclear warhead in a firefight and it'd be a solid piece of cover. I mean, I wouldn't want to, but you could. Ordeal by Innocence is a good name.
Intercept the Maglib Liberation Front's ground transport convoy and destroy the armored core belonging to their irregular next, Amajik, the Desert Wolf. By taking
He's a
on
cool
least
character. I
amount
wish he was
exciting
in more of
stress,
the story.
Amajik has achieved
Armored
a
Core
degree
has a
of
bad
control
habit
over
of
his
making
armored
really
core
cool,
far
like,
beyond the limits of
characters
his
and
minimal
designs and then
AOC
just doing
capability.
nothing with them.
You're dealing
That's
with
like
someone
most armored
anti-establishment
cores,
groups
actually.
across white
Like,
Africa
look at this
consider
awesome armored
hero.
core that will sell a
He's too
bunch of
dangerous
model
to face
kits.
in conventional combat. Amajik's
The one for
next,
Barbaroi is actually kind of
Barbaroi,
expensive.
is based
It's
on
like,
the lightweight
I always
Nick
wanted the
Ball
one
standard
from,
armored core. Its defenses should be
fucking,
minimal. Take it out before
Armored
it
Core
can be
5,
activated.
Vengeance.
Those
That's a
are your
really
orders.
cool model
Be
kit,
careful
and it
out
is
there.
really expensive. It's like $500. The back part alone is like $180. You can buy them individually, but I don't know why you would. It would be more expensive to do that. But yeah, Vengeance is a cool AC. It's one of the few ACs from Armored Core 5 that I'm 100% on board with. People didn't like Armored Core 5 very much, but I think it was pretty good. I liked the way the story was presented, even if the menus were a bit cumbersome. It's just, it tried too many weird gimmicks without, like, testing any of them first.
Ground carrier vehicle. Don't get ahead of yourself. Let it come to you, then attack.
I forget how close you need to be to get the drop on him.
Target has entered combat range. Let it get as close as possible, then hammer it. Barbaroi has begun activation. Concentrate all fire on the target.
And there we go. Sorry, Barbaroi. You were cool, but, you know, I always hate doing that because he's got so much awesome dialogue and his mech is legitimately interesting.
Come on home. Amajik had been working alone for some time. He didn't want to contaminate his Maglib comrades.
But who was driving the truck?
Maybe so. He may have taken it all upon himself from the very
You get to see one of
start.
those trucks a little bit closer in Armored Core 5, because RD occasionally drives it for you. It feels like you'd be the biggest target in the world,
Especially
though.
The defeat of the anti-establishment hero Barbaroi caused the
What
value of
battle?
Anatolia's mercenary to soar. But while we were naively enjoying our successes, seeds of conflict threatened the Pax Economica. The battle for supremacy and the development of Kojima technology.
Damn you,
The race
Hideo.
between the newly risen Ray Leonard group's Akvavit and the Rosenthal group's Omer Science spread to the other countries.
They were behind it all the
accentuating
whole
existent
time.
antagonism
Who would have
of
thought?
equality. The world's
Like that weirdo
counterfeit
head that's in, like,
peace
every
had
Armored
begun
Core
to
game.
unravel. I saw that as Anatolia's golden opportunity.
I like how they're giving you previews of the final boss throughout the game. It's like, well, we don't actually get to take a good look at it in the mission that it's in, so you might as well sprinkle it in a little bit beforehand, huh? Sick. I figure now is as good a time as any. Probably just better to do it in a straightforward... I wish it wasn't, like, peach orange, though. That kind of plays hell on my eyesight. Especially since the enemy is also a kind of tan beige color. There's no maps in the Armored Core series that are ever just clean. There's always something wrong with them. Oh jeez, I need to fix that accuracy. That ain't good. Ah, good. Oh yeah, AS missiles will run intercept on other fucking missiles, won't they? I forgot about that. It's so slow. There we go. That could have been better, but he had a really heavy-hitting gun. I forget if he uses a bazooka or a grenade launcher. It looks like a bazooka projectile, but it's hard to tell in Armored Core because no gun is ever actually what it's supposed to be. Like, laser weapons do have plasma projectiles and vice versa, so... yeah. Sure. Parabolic Grove is probably the one with the best visual clarity. And decent cover from... what's the word I'm looking for? There we go. Man, my primal armor is fucking garbage. That's something I need to rectify. It'd be interesting if you could stick as many decals on your AC as you wanted. It'd be kind of cool to have an AC that's just covered with the decals from like every other AC. I'd be interested in seeing that. Call it like trophy or something. Or victory. Can we get victory Gundam? God, my AC has like no fucking like longevity in the air on the default version. It's like so sluggish and unmaneuverable. I was hoping that would hit him, but he curved away from it. Whatever. I always wanted to try out those shotguns. I think I used them once on an AC during like a really close quarters mission. I don't remember what it was though. That's the problem with shotguns. Split Moon, he's so cool. He's so cool. He's so cool, he's not even in the game. Well, he's in the simulator, but you know what I mean. The vast majority of ACs you see in the series never appear in a fucking story mission. Which is always a little disappointing, but you know how it is. Oh my god, the weapon switch is so slow. I don't remember if that's tied to your arm abilities or not. Not too difficult. I thought he had pursuers. Must be misremembering that. Man, pursuers in the original games are like so incredibly overpowered. You can fire one and just kill most ACs. I love it. But they're so heavy and you only get, I believe, 4 shots per thing on your back. So they're not exactly practical. See, he's fast. And now he's fallen. I forget if he has enough fucking energy to actually get back up here. I don't know if he does. Which is a problem because there's a big thing underneath this. So now he has the advantage. Like I said, the AI in this version is not very smart. They kind of just charge at you, like, blindly. At least in the other version, they move around a bit. Mary Shelley. She's got a cool mech. I like it a lot. I believe they made a model kit of hers. They made a model kit of most of the originals. Or I guess model kits, not a model kit. Whatever. You know what I mean. Oh yeah, he's got AS missile. Forgot. He'll probably kick my ass. Oh yeah, the fucking shadows. They fucking... I forgot about that. It's stupid. Well, he'll keep firing at me even though he can't hit me, so I could just sit under here until he runs out of ammo, but that seems like not the thing to do. Jeez. And as far as I know, he's not smart enough to get back up here. Maybe. Oh, hey, he is. Cool. Good for him. There we go. I was wondering if that was going to come down to a DPS race. It almost did. Yeah, they're definitely way dumber in the PS3 version. Like, using beginner level equipment, any three of these guys should have kicked my ass. Oh yeah, that's another one they offer a model kit of. It looks really cool. My model kits always suck though because I'm bad at painting them, so I've just given up on painting them. I had the Project Morpheus one or whatever the fuck, and the goddamn leg joint dissolved. I'm pissed off. Also one of the head parts fell off, but you know, whatever. Eh. Oh, bye. Huh. Where'd he go? Is he just gonna run away forever? Oh, I'm out of rock or fucking grenades. Damn. Oh, shit. I meant to drop my, I didn't mean to drop my missiles. I meant to drop the, fucking grenade launcher. Shit. Whatever. Still worked out. Just a bit stupider. Oof, bad hit. Oh, my ground speed is so low. Hate it. Come on, stop that. God fucking... I do find it interesting this map puts you almost at the exact fucking height limit for a level. I think I can spin around him long enough. There we go. That was very stupid. I need more guns with more ammo. Glad I put those things in my fucking hangar. What I need is an energy sword. I don't like not having one. I always try to have one at the very least in reserve. Though I prefer to have one as the secondary on my mech. That's why I like Snowblind so much. I need to put flares on this. Jeez. That really kills the frame rate, huh? Oh, they're not locked on. You ever gonna run out of those? Shit. Oh, those are impacting the wall. Wondering if I should just chase them. Fuck it. Oh, that didn't really accomplish anything. Is he out of missiles? I hope so. That works fine. I remember her using ECM in For Answer. I wonder if they changed her from a missile type into a sniper between the games. Yeah, Berlioz, the poster for the game who's in almost none of it. Admittedly, it's one of the coolest missions in the game, but still. You'd think they would have, like, put him in more. They do that a lot, where, like, the person on the cover of the box is barely ever seen in the game. At least Leos Klein fucking, like, shows up and does stuff other than just be, like, a one-off boss fight. Jeez, I'm getting my ass kicked. What the fuck is happening? I need more primal armor. That's way too slow to come back. Getting nowhere with this person. I like how the screen flickers and glitches when you're low on health. It's appreciated. Oh no, a pursuer! I guess that's what was taking out my primal armor. I forgot she had pursuers. I don't remember that. I'm gonna lose this fight. There we go. Longer than expected, but not terrible. And I've acquired pursuers. Cool. And that's all of those for now. Good.